Well, thanks for joining me. Today we're doing another trade talk. I'm talking to Andy from 314 Roofing. If you haven't seen our roofing video yet, I urge you to look at it. Andy, thanks for doing this quickly. One of the questions and the reasons behind these trade talks, people will always say to me, how well do you know your trades? So, in a way to introduce you to everyone at home, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, about the background to 314, background to you, and give us some understanding of Andy.
Sure. So I grew up in a very education-based household. My mother's been a teacher for multiple decades with Aldine Independent School District. But really my introduction to the corporate world or workforce was all in restaurants. So I worked my way up from the bottom to become a national service trainer with the Carrabba's Italian Grill. So my focus was customer service, order of operations, systematic process. And then I took all of that information thinking I'm a big man on campus and went to Papa's Brothers Steakhouse and realized I didn't know anything. And they showed me a level of expectation for customer service that was mind-blowing. So when I met my A&M graduate wife and realized I didn't want to work every holiday night and weekend, I found my way accidentally into the roofing business, and I really got to learn the business and delivery of roofing for what is now the largest roofing contractor in the state of Texas. So they showed me a lot of the systems, the operations, the ideals, but what was always missing for me, and not to be disparaging to them at all, great company, but they just didn't understand how to connect the customer service in.
Right.
So that was always kind of bumbling in the back of my mind, is how do we connect these two pieces? And that's really the birthplace and the opportunity for us to start 314 Roofing.
So how long has 314 Roofing been going?
Almost 10 years.
Wow. And where did you start?
I started knocking on doors in neighborhoods with no credit, no customers, no testimonials, and trying to convince somebody that I was honest and wanted to try to help them with their roofing projects. So on my darkest day, when I deal with all of the challenges of owning a business, I often will think back to those days and say, yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
We've made it a long way since then.
It's an interesting mindset. Some people get into business for money. I get the sense that was not your journey. I think that your mission and your irritation was very much, let's do this but better. What is it you think that 314 Roofing has given you, your customers, your employees? What is it that's so different about you guys? I mean, as I walk around here and I see all of these slogans and motivational speeches, and I see the engagement with the team and all of the photographs and the history that's being created here, I can see it myself, but you're the owner. What's your perspective?
I think it's not a simple answer. It's been an evolution. I'm a very competitive person, so in the onset of starting the company, it was to prove to myself and my wife and my family and my supporters that we could do it. And somewhere along the way, over the next couple of years, time flies, and you look back and all of a sudden you have a team behind you. And these people are following you and believing in the vision, and it morphs into, wait a second, this is bigger than me. And what am I doing that's special, that is worthy of these people following our direction and being engaged? So that further motivates, well, we better be representing something that's valuable here. We better be representing something that people can be proud of. Because when they go home and they tell their spouses and loved ones that they decided to take their most rare and precious commodity, their time, and invest it within our company, it's got to mean something.
Right.
And over time, I think I've with the aid of our fantastic team, I've helped to take some of those fundamental principles that work for repeatable systematic processes within restaurants and apply those to delivering honest and valuable service to home builders. And I think the best way that we've able to get to that point is asking great questions. I don't think it has to be a mystery. When I'm able to sit down with somebody like you that cares about their business, their clients, and what they're representing, and finding out what your challenges are. I like the challenge and the creativity to be able to come up with something that is actually valuable based on what you told me you and your clients need, not what I thought they wanted.
And a lot of people don't get to see behind the scenes. So I think it was a few weeks ago that, anyone that works with us and partners with us has to put up with me. And what I mean by that is there's going to be a phone call roughly every 6 to 10 weeks. And it's always, hey, you got a second? I've had an idea. And then I typically kind of get people together over at my place, and there could be engineers, there could be framing people, there could be roofing, everybody represented in the room. We talk about a specific opportunity I think that there's that exists. And you, like everyone else, has to put up with that. But when it comes to you've taken something where, to use your words, you were knocking on doors 10 years ago, and you're now in the top 100 roofing contractors in the nation. And you're not at 100, you're up there. What's next? What motivates you? What drives you? What are the things where you go, I've had an idea?
Well, my ideas actually, maybe similar to yours, have to be reined in. So if I didn't have my wife behind the scenes, who is a strong, intelligent implementer, I would be lost, because I would be drowning in my own creative ideas without the ability to see them through and support them the way that they need to. So I think, to me, something my mom used to tell me growing up, there's no such thing as being bored. No one has enough time to be bored. You have a short time here on this earth, you got to make something of it. There's always something to do. So I don't think there's ever going to be a challenge for a new idea, especially as technology and AI is catching up to what's going on in our industry, not just in home building, but roofing specific. There's a number of changes going on in the insurance realm in terms of how homeowners are going to get and need support in insuring their homes and how that process works. So, keeping up with the Joneses isn't even a question. It's just keeping up with the speed in which our industry and home building is moving. So there's never enough to do, and it's perfect for me. Because this is the only thing I've ever done in my life that takes all of my knowledge, experience, and brain power, and it's still not enough. So I know I'm in the right spot, because I'll never hit a plateau. There's always room to grow.
You've talked about your wife, and I'm curious. Tell me about who Andy is outside of work. I mean, last time I saw you, you gave me what I consider one of the most considered gifts ever, and which reflects, I guess, your love of geology. But who are you outside of work?
I'm not that exciting, believe it or not, anymore. I think I got all of that out of my early 20s, late teens, but I like to consider myself a family guy. We have a 10-year-old daughter that goes to Salem Lutheran private school up in Tomball area. Okay. So I spent about 3.5 hours last night watching her cheer at Concordia. So I, just getting to enjoy some of that time, because we do work so hard. Yeah. And not just my wife in the business, but my wife on the other side of it is doing so much. So I'm often inspired by people that have achieved great things. But a lot of the people that I read about, some of their biggest regrets. Bill Walsh, fantastic football coach, he wrote in his memoirs that he just didn't feel like he ever got to enjoy it. He worked so hard for these unbelievable achievements, but never really got to enjoy it. So I'm trying. I'm not going to say I'm successful yet, but I'm trying my best to enjoy the ride along the way, and make sure that I'm treating everybody the way that I'd be proud to see them on the way down of my business climbs as I'm seeing them on the way up.
What do you think 314 has given the world? What are you most proud of?
Well, it starts with our mission, and I don't get too kitschy with it, but trying to set the new standards of excellence in the roofing industry. I don't need every roof in the world to be a 314 roof. Our mission has nothing to do with sales. And our mission specifically doesn't have anything to do with having something that no one else can have. There's two unique characters that are available in the cosmos, in my opinion, and that's love and knowledge. These are two special things, because they're two things that you can give in total abundance, but never have any less in your reserves. So knowledge to me is almost in the same realm as the power of love. So if we're able to show a better way that homeowners can have expectations from a roofing contractor, if we can have a better systematic process for delivering to home builders, I don't need it to be specific and special only to us, because the capitalist market is unique. If we are doing something theoretically better than others, there's two choices. They can either go on and fall off the map, or they can raise the bar. And so I'm hoping that the legacy we leave behind is that we have raised the bar for the deliverables, that ultimately homeowners and families are going to be the recipients. And if we can help great builders that are trying to do things the right way and make their lives a little easier and build some great teams and individuals along the way, I think that's pretty fulfilling. I'm checking all my boxes.
Thank you for doing this little conversation with me. I think it's one of the questions I get asked the most when I meet with people is, how well do you know your trades, the people you partner with? Well, now, I mean, I know Andy, but now you know a little bit more about him as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this trade talk. If you have any questions, let us know. Any comments, also let us know. But otherwise, I'm so grateful, mate, that you've allowed us to do this here.
I appreciate you.